This tutorial is going to cover how to create um, this tutorial is going to cover how to create fusion tables. So here we have the data for um, our extra credit assignment, and the first thing that we need to do when attempting to create a fusion table, you first need to concatenate the address. You have to concatenate the address there so that the when you geocode the fusion table, it reads the address as one fluid address and not as these individual cells. So the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to shorten this. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to insert a new column right here, and we're going to name this column the full address. Okay, stretch that out a little more. Okay, and in this we're going to concatenate these cells, these four cells. So what we're going to do, we're going to say the full address equals concatenate, and you're going to go cell by cell. So you're going to concatenate cell A2. Now, in order to make everything look presentable, you're going to have to put a comma and a space in between the street address and the city and the state. So in order to do that, after you put in your first cell, which is the street address, which is 4702 Clayton Road, comma, before you put in the city, you want to open quotations, space, something's up, open quotations, space, oh, what's wrong with it? Open quotations, space, comma, close quotations, comma, and then put in the city. That's gonna insert a comma and a space so that everything will line up smoothly. As a matter of fact, I think it should be comma space close quotes. So open quotes, comma, space, close quotes. Then you put in your next line of information, which is going to be cell B2, comma, and you're going to do the same thing. Open quote, comma, space, close quote, comma. And then you go to the next line of information, which is the state, and you hit a comma. And because the state is just followed by the postal code, you don't need to do you don't need to insert. In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to create a fusion table, which is going to pull up a map and show you all of these different addresses here, in these four columns. It's going to plot all of these on the standard map, and there's a lot of cool, interesting things that you can do with that. So the first thing that you need to do in order to create a fusion table, you have to get the full address, which is a combination of these four cells: the street address, the city, the state, and the postal code. But you want it in one fluid address. So what we're going to do is we're going to insert a new column, right? And we're going to name this column the full address. Full address. And from here, what we need to do is use a function called concatenate, which is going to combine all of these cells into one cell, and it'll read off as one long address. So what we're going to do, we're going to say equals concatenate, and you want cell A2. That's going to be the street address, comma, and then next you want to put your city. But in order for it to all look presentable, you're going to need a comma and a space. Otherwise, it'll just read off 4702 Clayton Road, and then Concord will be right on the end of it without a comma or a space. So you need to, after you put your comma, you need to open quotations, comma, space, close quotations, comma. This will put a space in, and then you will click cell B2 for city, comma, and you will do the same thing again so that you have a comma and a space between the city and the state. You would say open quotations, comma, space, close quotations, comma, and then you will click on cell C2, which holds the state. Now, there's typically no comma in between the state and the postal code when you're reading an address. So in this situation, you would just put comma and select cell D2, which is the postal code. There's an error in here. Oh, we do need this. We need a space, but we don't need a comma. So in this situation, after you put the state into it, which is this cell C2 here, after you've placed that in and you've put a comma, you need to just simply open quote, space, close quote, comma, and then let input cell D2, and that should let everything read off nice and smooth. One nice address which reads 4702 Clayton Road, comma, Concord, comma, California, 94521. So that's your address. Now, in order to get it for all of these cells, you just simply double click this box right here in the right corner, and voila, it populates the entire list, and you have all of the addresses in a nice, neat format, ready to be geocoded. So once you've done this, you want to save this file, save as, and I'm just gonna save it to my desktop for ease of access. So I'm going to say desktop, and extra credit. I'm going to put a fusion table assignment, and make sure that you save it as an Excel file. So Excel workbook is great. You save it, and then the next step, you will want to open Google Drive. So let's see here. Let's go to open a new tab, and we'll go to Drive. So that it opens my Google Drive account. And once there, you just want to create a fusion table. Now, when you click create, if you don't see a fusion table, you need to go to connect more apps here, and you can search for the fusion table app, and you can download it easily. It's free. But I have it already on here, so I'm just going to click fusion table. Okay, and now it's going to tell you you can import a new table, and you can import it as a file from the computer, or you can search public tables. You can upload it from a Google spreadsheet, or you can create an empty table. So for this purpose, because I have the file saved, I'm going to choose a file, and I'm just simply going to go to desktop, and I can type in fusion table assignment. Here it is in my desktop, the file that we were just working with, and I just click next, and it should upload the file, and here it is. And you can preview it here, the information that you uploaded, to make sure that it's exactly what you wanted, and you just click next. Now it's going to tell you a few things about your new table. You can change the name of the table here. You can allow for it to be exported and all of that good stuff. Add a description and everything. So we're just finishing this up. Okay, now when you have your information pulled up, it should automatically figure out which column, and that's this column here, is going to have the correct information, the addresses that you're looking for, because what you're ultimately going to do is you're going to put it all on the map. So you click on this tab for the map of full address, which is the column of information that it's pulling from, and it's going to instantly start geocoding. So it's going to start adding those addresses to the map and plotting them in a way that you can see and you can interpret. So we have 43 rows to be geocoded, and it just works its way through, and it provides a percentage of ambiguity. So you have a very high percentage of ambiguity. Your data has not been it's not been properly uh, sorted out. So here's our map, and basically it's a map of the US with all the different dots which represent the different addresses that were in our data. So it's pretty spread out all over the country. So now what you can do to further interpret this, you can click over here under the feature maps, or the feature map. You click change feature styles. Now one of the things you can do, you can change the buckets, which will color code the different dots depending on certain information. So what I want to do, let's say I'm gonna divide the buckets into I'm going to divide it into 2 buckets, and I'm going to use the range of data. Let's see, divide into 2 buckets. Now you have to select that, and you want to choose which column you want to divide the dots up based upon. So you can divide them up based on postal code, and each postal code or ranges of postal codes will give you a different color. But I want to look at let's say sales price per square foot, and I'm going to use the range of data, right? And you know what? Let's up it to, let's say 4, and it's just gonna split it up into different ranges with different colors here. So everything's gonna have different colors based on the different sales price per square foot. So $71.26 to $286.42, they'll all be yellow, whereas $716 to $931, they'll all be red, and you have the green and purple in between. So you can save that, and voila, everything starts to change colors based on the sales price per square foot. And also another feature that you can add is the automatic legend, and so that people know what they're looking at here. So they see the different colored dots, they need to know what that represents. You show the marker legend, and you call the legend exactly what you're dividing them based upon, which is the sales price per square foot. You can choose which location you want the legend in, so I'm going to put it in the bottom right hand corner, and you don't really need a link. So voila, it's telling you that the sales price per square foot, the yellow dots represent a certain range, green represents another range, and purple and red also. And you can zoom right in, and you can see the different dots and how much they cost per square foot, and you can draw all kinds of conclusions from this. So if you had a large enough data set, and let's say you were looking at the city, Oklahoma City, and we had all dots in Oklahoma City, many more than this obviously, you could almost see, okay, in certain areas it's going to be more expensive to own property per square foot than in different areas, and you can draw conclusions about that. uh, in the same way, if in certain parts of the country, the sales price per square foot may be higher. So, in California, maybe they're going to be higher than they are on the East Coast. So it's just all kinds of ways that you can interpret the information once you gathered it all and you've placed it into the Fusion table and applied the appropriate style features. And yes, that is